Oh boy.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's all right. Stay here. Okay, cool. We got it. All right. Anyway, yeah, let's move on here. So, what are your thoughts? I haven't asked this question to a guest in a long time, but I think I'll bust it out now. What are your thoughts on 4D pants?
4D pants. What's the fourth dimension on the pants? That would be my first question. Like, is it some sort of dimensional pocket? Is it like more room for your legs, more room for your rear, like a stretch fabric?
Well, it's like, to give you a frame of reference, like you turn them inside out to put them on, but it's a lot of like imagination involved. This is adapted from a scrapped video game idea that a local video game designer and friend of mine had a few years back, that didn't make it past the drawing board, but I just thought it was a really cool concept. The video game was 4D pants, and it would be like a side scroller where it starts off like an 8-bit video game, and then each level gets better quality with each power up that you get at the end of the level, which is like hidden, and there's like a whole like maze type thing you have to go through to get to the power up. And so then the final power up of the game is 4D pants, and if you can get the 4D pants, you win the game. It's like, so I just thought like it would be cool if you have like real life physical 4D pants. Like if you extract that power up from the game, like what would it be like? So this requires some imagination on your part as to, well, what do you think 4D pants would be like, you know? I mean, sure, it's all semantics as far as we're concerned, but like, you know, what sort of semantics, you know?
I mean, yeah, when you're talking about it that way, it's like, holy cow. I guess my fear with the 4D pants is like a lot of times I do this where I think one thing's going to fix all my problems. So I'd probably be like, oh, did you hear about those 4D pants? Be like, okay, well, I'm going to start saving my money for them because it's like, oh boy, that's going to fix everything. I'm going to be able to talk to people. I'm going to feel comfortable. I'm going to have this confidence. Once I get those 4D pants, everything's going to change. So I would kind of be setting myself up for like a 4D pants letdown. So maybe it'd be like,
oh, mine are only 3.82D. I want to refund. Yeah.
Right. Like, so maybe if I got 3D pants and then the 3D pants were stealth 4D pants, like, and they're like, hey, open up put me on inside out, like you're saying. And it's like, I guess that's like a card, like it could be a TV show too. And then it's like, all of a sudden, I put the pants on and then rainbows shoot out. And then it's like, I'm in 4D pant mode. That would be a little bit different. Like, and then, yeah. So I guess, I don't know if the question was, do I want 4D pants? Yes. Do I want them to fix all my problems? Yes. But I would want to be surprised by them. I guess those would be my thoughts on 4D pants.
So the way you see it, it would be like a real life power up then, basically. Like it would give you like powers, basically. And like you seem to be picturing it as more of like an invisibility cloak or something.
It would be like a normalcy cloak. These pants grant me the ability to go undercover as a normal person. Be like, ha ha ha! Oh, great to see you. Like, oh, how about the weather today? Like they would whisper stuff like that, like in my ear. Like, oh, ask about their mother. Oh, how's your mother doing? Oh, like, so yeah, there'd definitely be a power up, but maybe a power up to tell me go undercover.
Like a telepathic kind of thing, like an all like internal, like more of a mental thing.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool if it had physical things too, like wheels that pop out, or I think like ropes, like where I could like, yeah, or like where I could swing from stuff. Not so much like Spider-Man, but I guess a similar concept. That would be, I don't know. That's popped in my head.
That springs out. It's like, oh yeah, it's party time, you know.
Yeah, maybe some speakers would be good too. Lights are always good.
So while we're on the topic, then, would you rather live on Stuvian 3 or Stuvian 7?
Oof. Let's see. Well, I think if I lived on Stuvian 7, I would get tired of people saying like things were so much better on Stuvian 3. Like, so if I'd probably just stay at, but that could be good. Stuvian 7 versus Stuvian 3. I mean, people probably Stuvian 7, because people on Stuvian 7 might be a little bit more open-minded and experimental. You know, they'd have the people that lived on Stuvian 3 that would have a little bit of a attitude or be like, oh, things aren't as good here, you know, because everything's so gray compared to the gold on Stuvian 3 or whatever it is. But yeah, I think Stuvian 7.
Huh. Well, so then cutting back now to a serious question. So well, I mean, everything. Make no mistake about it. That was a crucial decision, crucial life choice you just made.
Boy.
But you know, still, is your podcast at all inspired by the ways or the works of Joe Pera?
Joe Pera, I think he came out with his stuff. I hadn't seen him until I'd been doing the podcast for a few years, but it's weird because we grew up in the same general vicinity. So I don't know if like growing up in the Rust Belt, like he grew up in Buffalo and I grew up in Syracuse. So I think like growing up in that like kind of Rust Belt cold environment must have like an impact on how you view the world. But yeah, I remember when he started doing that kind of show where he talks to people and people were sending it to me. And then I like watched some more of his videos and stuff. And he's a really funny guy. So like, but yeah, I think I had already started the podcast before I was aware of him, but we kind of share a very similar style. Bob Newhart would be like the archetype, I think, of like earlier comics, or Stephen Wright is definitely someone that's too smart. Like I love his humor, but I'm not that as smart as someone like him, Stephen Wright.
So who is your favorite comic then?
Whew, I don't know. Like if I have a favorite comic, I mean, I think like those years, like when I was a little kid, like I watched a lot of Stephen Wright, Weird Al, even though he's like a musician. Who else was like around? Emo Phillips is another person that was in that generation of comics. Someone else I was just talking to somebody about the other day is this comedian. This was like a long time ago, but his name is Rich Hall. And he was really funny. He had a big impact. Bob Newhart is someone else. And then anyone, I would listen to this one comedy radio show called the Dr. Demento Show. And so anyone that called into that show or played parody or comedy songs on that show was like a huge influence on me. Yeah. And yeah, I think that there's probably other people I'm forgetting, but my brain works in meanders, you know?
So you grew up in upstate New York, but now you live in where, Oregon, or?
I live in the Bay Area, like outside of San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I grew up in New York.
I just didn't want to be one of those people where it's like, you know, oh, Pacific time. Oh, what, you live in California? It's like, hey, listen, not all of Pacific time is California, you know? So I figured I'd guess somewhere else for once, like, oh, Oregon maybe, you know, Washington, Nevada, Arizona maybe, you know, I don't know, but okay.
It's all beautiful states though. But yeah, I live in the Bay Area. I grew up in upstate New York. Then I lived in New York City for a while. Then I lived in LA for a little while, and then I lived in the Bay Area for a while now.
So is where you're living now your favorite place that you've lived, or like what would that mean?
I don't know. I mean, I think I like this kind of goes back to the daydream conversation. Like I definitely am one of those people that has trouble living in the present moment. So like I can remember. Like, so when I go back to visit LA, anytime I'm down there, I'm like, oh man, I love it down here so much. I miss it so much. Or when I'm in New York, I miss New York. Or when I'm in upstate New York, I'm like, oh man, like upstate New York's a little bit harder, but it's like so much more affordable and stuff. It's like, oh, it's so much.
It's kind of nostalgic then, right?
Yeah. But I do like the Bay Area a lot. It's just very, very expensive. So it kind of drains you. But yeah, I don't know. I think wherever I should, the correct answer, if I had my 4D pants on, would be right where I live right now is my favorite place, according to my pants.
You gotta incorporate that into the podcast, man. Just use 4D pants in there. Like, all right, I'm just gonna go ahead and put my 4D pants on here and see what. Oh, okay, yes. Now I think I understand. You know, just make that part of the podcast. I'll imagine I'll just be listening to your podcast, a couple of weeks or a month or two from now, and like, I'll be dozing off, and then I'll hear something about Stuve or Wizbo or 40 Pants, or whatever, just wake right up and sit up in my bed, like, wow, I what have I done?
Yeah, that'd be fun, especially if 40 Pants like remind me of stuff like, don't forget Wizbo. Oh, sorry, what was that? Who said that? Like,
Yeah, it could be like a character, like a voice on the podcast or something. You could put like a special effects thing on your microphone or whatever, so it sounds like a different voice, or like a gargled or muffled version or something. It's like, oh, hold on, my pants are saying something. Oh, what's that?
Yeah, that's like a movie. It's like where I'm looking down at my pants, talking to people, and they're like, "I'm sorry, what was?" And they're like, what are you doing? Are you talking to your crotch?" No, nothing. Sorry about that. Like, it's perfectly normal here. Like the 40 Pants.
I'm definitely wearing 2D pants. Yes.
Yeah. Like it could be like a after school movie or something where it's like the day the 40 Pants quit. It's like, what happened to the podcast? Like, what happened to you? We used to put people to sleep. It's like,
I just couldn't go on anymore without my co-host, the 40 Pants.
If 40 Pants quit, they're protesting for less washing or something. I don't know what it was. We got into a fight. We couldn't get over it.
So are you more, but yeah, no, you're definitely welcome to use any of my quote unquote intellectual property at that. But so, are you more of a like a cold weather person or a hot weather person?
I prefer the hot weather or warm weather. I'm not against cold weather, and actually I like it to be cold when I sleep. And that's one of the best parts about the Bay Area is like it never gets too hot or too cold, but at night it gets pretty cold, like where you open your windows and it's like cold air is coming in to put you to sleep.
It's like it can be 90 degrees for the high of the day, but at night it's it's a nice comfortable like 68 or something,
Yeah. But yeah, I think like I like warm, like sitting outside when it's warm, or I like swimming a lot. So like not swimming for exercise, but just swimming for fun, or riding bikes. I like riding bikes. So I definitely prefer the warm weather to the cold weather.
Yeah, well, there's three things in there that are right on with me. Having it cold to sleep. I mean, I like it cold all the time. Just sort of a cold weather enthusiast. But the cold to sleep. It reminds me of it's like when I get in my bed. Then it's like I'm sleeping in a cryogenic freezing tube or something. To preserve myself. For the next day until I'm completely recharged. Whatever, and it's like. I mean, your body naturally cools down when you're ready to go to sleep anyway, so why not just eat it with that? Like when it's like 48 degrees outside, have the windows open and let the breeze in, just sort of cascading in, have the distant sounds of the highway 2 miles away, just like the howling noise, just up there, mesmerizing and all that.
That's exactly how I like to sleep.
Yeah. Do you ever listen to your own podcast to fall asleep?
Not really. I've fallen asleep like editing it, like when I've like been really tired and it's been lunch, like, and I'm like trying to get an episode done. But yeah, at night, like sometimes like someone will ask me a question and I'll start listening to it, like to answer their question or something. But then I'm like,
let me go back and check that.
Yeah, but then I'm paying too much attention, so usually I can't fall asleep listening to it. It's just like too distract. It's like the wrong kind of distracting for me.
Yeah, I notice a lot of people, that's a very common thing that people have is they say like they feel weird falling asleep to their own voice, or like some people even just can't see themselves on camera or anything, so they'll do like exclusively audio stuff. And to be honest, I didn't even expect you to show your face on here. I thought we were just going to have like a little, circle icon thing with just the waves coming out of it or whatever, but I was really surprised, like, oh, okay, he's coming out on here.
Yeah, I never know. But it's easier when you can see the person, like when you're talking to them. In my opinion, like it's like, oh, okay. Then it's like a little bit more context and stuff like that. It's like, oh, he's not kidding. He really does wish he had 40 pants.
Okay, I guess that's a visual thing. But yeah, I mean that could be your designated DIY project. for the day or you probably, I was gonna say like for the month or for the week or something. You probably do them on the daily, but it's like, you go to like Goodwill or like somewhere with like really cheap pants, and you try to convert them into 4D pants. Take them to add some quantum tesseracts, and turn the turbo thrusters on, and just get cracking.
Yeah, I think I would like try to sneak into one of the particle accelerators with the pants and just stand in front of it and get hit by it. And then see, hopefully that would make them into 4D, or like be like, oh, there's a rip in your pants in the time space continuum within your pants.
I have the universe within this article of clothing. If you don't understand, if I take my pants off, the whole universe is going to implode in on itself.
Yeah. Like I can't turn my pants inside out. It'll cause the end of time.
But speaking of weather and all that, which is what we were talking about a few minutes ago, what are some of your favorite like music stuff, like bands and artists and songs, albums, all that? Like just all things music. What's some music you like?
I mean, so I've never been into like, I listen to a lot of classical music. Like I'm not like a person that's knowledgeable about it or anything, but like I like to always have background noise going on, like except when I have to really focus. And I noticed that like, oh, classical music's kind of soothing. I've always liked the style of classical music radio stations. So I'll listen to the radio station, like even if it's on the internet, because they're always like, okay, up next is Brahms Symphony Number 4, and that was Chopin, the Ode to Wisbo, in the Fourth Symphony. And so, like, there's something about that that's just reassuring to me. So I listen to a lot of classical music. I listen to like pop, like whatever, like sometimes I just like pop music, whatever era it is, even if it's current, to just like, there's just something about the sugary sweetness of like simple stuff that's like nice sometimes.
Yeah, it's just mind numbing. It's like you don't have to pay attention to it. You don't have to like, it's not terribly thought provoking where it's like, wait a minute, what does that mean? Like you're not trying to scramble to figure anything out. You don't have to go over to your chalkboard and put your collage together, like to figure out what's going on. It's just kind of like easy listening, I suppose. So
Right. What about you? What suggestions do you have for me to check out?
I mean, I'm a metalhead myself. I'm a fan of like rock music and stuff like that. I'm not sure, you don't really strike me as the kind of person who that's their type of cup of tea. You seem to be more of like a calm, like you seem like the kind of person that listens to music to relax and not so much to like get yourself psyched up for the day, and all that.
Well, I mean, I do like what kind of, are you into like new, like current metal or like old metal or classic rock, or what is the
A little bit of this, that, and the other. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure you'd be well versed in these names because they're kind of like deep within the genre. But I listen to like Machina, Between the Buried and Me, The Fall of Troy. We'll do some like I'm trying to think here. And we do some more popular stuff like Muse, for example. I saw them live in concert recently. That was cool. And like Slipknot sometimes on occasion. We'll bust out some like System of a Down, Avenged Sevenfold at the Drive-In's a good one. Just stuff like that.
That's good. Now I can re-listen to this episode and. Yeah, I mean, I think like having music to charge you up is a good thing, especially for me.
That's another one that always does it for me. One time I downloaded a custom alarms app on my phone that like you can take any video from the internet and have it be the thing that wakes you up. Have it act as your alarm. So I just put Dragon Force, Through the Fire and Flames. I'd have it be a different Dragon Force song for each day that week, and it would just come on blaring at full volume. And so I wake up to that and just jump out of bed and immediately just start busting a move. Run over to my wardrobe, put some clothes on.
That's a good way to start. That's a effective way to, yeah.
Because the thing is, I like to sleep right up until I need to like leave the house, basically. So it's like if I have class at 9:30 a.m., I'll set my alarm, and the campus is 15 minutes away. I'll set my alarm for 9:10. I'll just get up and just literally put clothes on and leave. And go and I'll usually pack myself lunch or something or breakfast or whatever the night before, so I'll just grab that and go.
That's
Maybe
cool.
shut my mouth on the way there.
Yeah, it used to be like that. Now I'm so slow. I have to get up an hour before I just sit there and drink coffee, and I'm useless. I don't know what it is. Where I used to be like that. I would literally get up and yeah, change, and then that was it. Brush my teeth maybe, and then be able to move. Now I'm oh God, can't face the day without 40 cups of coffee.
Well, are you the oh, I thought you were gonna say 4D coffee. But is there a particular reason why you're an early bird? Because you seem like exactly the kind of person that would be nocturnal. That's oh, all my best ideas come between midnight and 6 a.m., which is how it is for me. You know.
Yeah, I used to be like that, but I have a daughter, so having a kid, and she's in school, kind of changed my routine over the past decade. So it's that I have to be up, I have to be up before her so I can drink enough coffee to be effective, and so it's yeah, I think I just fell into this habit of if I have to be up early, I hate being tired. I guess that's the other thing. So I used to be able to I used to stay up all night and then sleep most of the day and get up around 2 or 3 in the afternoon. That would be my normal my regular schedule. It
Now
would
that's
be
me on the weekends, yeah.
but now it's just having to take care of somebody else. It's okay, I have to be rested and I have to have a routine.
You figure they have to get up at that time, you gotta have it be the overlap there, yeah.
Yeah, so it just changes. But one day I'll be retired and sleep till 2 again. But where is that old man, that old podcast guy? Oh,
Yeah, that begs the question then, does that just mean you're going to sleep 16 hours a day, or does that mean you'll be up, at 3 a.m. going to 7-Eleven, getting a pizza, going here or there, Walmart, going to Waffle House or IHOP or something, having your 3 a.m. coffee, chatting it up with the server, what does that mean? Or are you just going to stay at home and just put the TV on and recline on the couch in your boxers or something? Or
I would hope it would be one, because I think the night is such an interesting place, and even when I like to go walking late at night. I mean, for me late is now 12:30, but I take my dog out and walk and just hear you're saying oh, what does the freeway sound like tonight? Or oh, what are the other sounds? Is there any alarms, or is there any crickets, or is there anybody else out? What are the people that are out like? Or yeah, going to 7-Eleven. It's oh, who else is there? What are they what kind of condition are they in? Or oh, they're getting Reese's Pieces too. It's everybody at 7-Eleven's getting snack food. So yeah, I think the night is such an interesting place. I'm a big into people watching and stuff. So hopefully I'll use my time wisely and not waste it on the couch.
Picture you up inside a tree with a pair of binoculars, just kind of looking down at the city.
You're taking notes, yeah.
Yeah, with a little pocket notebook, But yeah, it's I find your word choice there very interesting, that nighttime is an interesting place instead of time, because I find it very interesting. That's kind of how I feel too. I view it as more of a place, a destination, destination nighttime. Hey, all right, I'm gonna go for a drive. Where are you going? Well, the night, of course. Where the blast else would I be going? Everything else is closed. I'm driving into the night. You just go out and just swim through the air on a nice chilly night, or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it has a definite feel away from time for me too. Like you're saying, it's its own destination. I think I agree. I can't say it better than you.
But yeah, it just has this this feel to it. Recently, I live in Florida, so there was a threat of a hurricane a couple of weeks ago. It ended up not getting close at all, but everybody a lot of people evacuated, and they took there's a very popular intersection, the main interstate around where I live has a very major exit close to my house, and there's these orange lights that surround it, a lot of like really tall orange lights, and there's this whole like orange glow cloud basically hovering above the interstate. That's just, it's visible all there. They leave the lights on during the day and everything. It's just 24/7. It's there, and so I can see it from my bedroom window. I'll just look out and be like, oh, yep, there's orange the glow cloud, and so eventually like. But for the hurricane, they took all the lights down, which I didn't even know they were portable, but they took them down. And I was just it was so shocking and unfamiliar to see nothing there, to just see pitch black. And everything just seemed so much darker all of a sudden, because like where I live, it's the suburbs. So there's like, it's never too far without there being something, So my house is fairly secluded, but there's still like, you're not necessarily within walking distance of things, but you're definitely within driving distance, of stuff that there is. And like there's lights all around. So you basically like any time of night, you can just walk out and you don't really need a flashlight or anything, or, like you could just kind of see your way through everything, and there's not like street lights or anything. But, when that happened, it was just complete darkness. And so it felt like eerie to me, like going over bridge of the intersection, with the interstate, and having there not be any lights. It's like like the air just felt so thick, it's like you're cutting through like ice fog or something. I mean, it's summer, it's like 80 degrees, but still, it just feels cold and dark and desolate,
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I live across like from a cement factory, so it's like different every time I'm sitting outside, like exactly like that. Like sometimes it's lit up and it's like 3 a.m. and they're making cement, and then other times it's like dark, or there's like this barge that goes by, and yeah, I love stuff like that. It's like during the day that stuff's boring, but at night it's like magical for some reason.
Yeah, that's one thing I notice is like, for me, there's just something in the air for me late at night, like from midnight to sunrise, basically, where it's just like, it's a euphoric feeling. It's like being high or something, it's just like everything's just so magical. Like no matter what you're doing, it's like the SpongeBob episode, graveyard shift. It's like, ooh, washing the grill at night, like cleaning the at night. Like everything is just, when you add at night to the end of everything, it's exciting, All right, I'm going to Steak and Shake happy hour. Oh, what? No, 2 to 5 p.m. No, the 2 to 5 a.m. happy hour. Yeah. And you go in there and you're the only ones there, and they have all the lights on, and they got the music playing, and they got the full menu available, but there's like one person doing everything, and so it's just cool to me, it's just a nice, and I think the nighttime crowd is just like, I relate more to the nighttime crowd, because to me, like, one thing I notice is driving during the day versus at night, because during the day it's it's gridlock, and everybody thinks they're the most important person. Everyone's in such a rush, getting here or there, everybody's running late, and it's just it's chaos, and like you go somewhere, there's a line at the post office or whatever, like, or wherever you're trying to go, a doctor appointment or something, and like just everybody's just like, there's just people everywhere, and it's overwhelming, and then at night it's just like it's room to breathe, it's a more relaxing time, people like, you walk into a gas station, I guarantee you'll find someone in their nighttime attire, their pajamas or something, that just kind of woke up with a rumble in their stomach, forgot to go to Walmart on their way home from work that day, and so like, well, no choice but to just go to McDonald's or something, and so you encounter them, and it's just like the people are just, so cool, I mean, yeah, sometimes you'll get like a cranky person, but it's nothing compared to during the day, it's just more sparse and like relaxing, like it's sort of, you can put the shields down,
Yeah, for sure. That's a perfect analogy. Yeah, it's like you're good. It just, everything has a different sense, or your armor is off. Yeah.
Yeah. But what are some of your favorite TV shows? Let's go into that.
Oof. Well, I don't have a ton of time to watch TV. Like I just finished season 2 of Dark. Have you seen that show? It's like
No.
it's like this German like sci-fi time travel show, and it's very like high-minded about.
Is it in German and just like subtitles in English or something, or is it like? in
It's,
English but made in Germany.
I think it's like it's in German with subtitles. There might be an English dub, but I've watched the German language version with the subtitles, and it's just like all of these characters. It spans like 30 or 40 years, and like people are getting caught in different places in the time travel. It's really cool. Illusion. Computer overheat. Do, 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 da, da, do, 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 da, 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 do, 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 do. Let's see.